I'm going to talk about the current border policies. So obviously the border is pretty open right now, and if you watch mainstream media, on the left and right, they'll have you believe that this open border policy is the fault of the Biden administration, right? It's or Biden himself, and the people who watch that mainstream media will fall for those narratives, right? So why do I say they're falling for those narratives? Well, let's, in order to kind of give you a wider picture of what's actually happening here, we're gonna go back to the beginning, okay? Back to the beginning when this country was founded. Obviously, the country was founded on immigration, right? Okay, immigrants moved here, and in the beginning, we encouraged immigration because we needed people, we needed skills, we needed the markets to provide for that population, right? If we're going to become a nation that's thrives, we need people. So that's step one. Okay, step one is immigrants founded this country, and we loved immigration at that point. Step two, a couple hundred years later, the number of children that the average woman was having was above that 2.1 replacement level, significantly above it, right? Where the population is exploding. So now we don't need immigrants, right? We're replacing our population by ourselves. So step two is to block the immigration. Now, step three is where things get interesting. Okay, step three is where capitalism takes off, right? So step three is where the upper class effectively pushes this economic model of infinite growth, and that infinite growth is dependent on a growing population. Okay, if we're going to increase the value production, we need more people. So in this step, okay, step three, the upper class divides the middle and lower class amongst themselves in order to in order to siphon wealth from them. And it's typically called a divide and conquer strategy, right? So step four is we repeat step three. We repeat this divide and conquer strategy. We continue down this capitalistic road until the wealth inequality reaches a point where the native born citizens are no longer replacing the population. Okay, why are they not replacing the population? Well, again, the wealth inequality gets to the point where people can't support children. So what happens is they simply stop having children. Okay, if 60% of people are living paycheck to paycheck, it's kind of hard to imagine how they are going to have children and support those children. So the trend is that the average number of children that a woman is having is dropping. In 2017, it was 1.76. Okay, that's below that 2.1 replacement level. And even the immigrants who are immigrating here today, in 2017, their average children per woman was 2.18. Okay, that's barely above that replacement level. And yet we are still seeing rising wealth inequality, which means the upper class is still siphoning wealth from the middle and lower class, okay? And they're still stuck in this infinite growth model that is no longer sustainable due to the lack of a rising population. So what's step five? Well, step five is to find another way to to increase the population in order to sustain that infinite growth model. And that is why the borders are open right now. So step six, again, is the divide and conquer strategy continues, and the upper class turns the middle and lower class against each other, and they blame all of the problems in our country on the immigration, right? These drug issues we're having, and the violence, right? They're blaming it on the illegal immigrants, right? But people don't do drugs because there's drugs coming into the country. People do drugs because they're stressed out and they're trying to escape the shitty reality they live in. So that shitty reality is driven by the wealth inequality that the upper class controls, right? The upper class controls the allocation of resources. So again, the media turns the middle and lower class against each other, and they're blaming each other for all of the problems. Meanwhile, we're not replacing our population, and then that upper class who controls the border policies opens the border and then turns the middle and lower class against each other even more. So what's step seven? Well, there's only one place we go here from here, okay? It's revolution. Now, we can either become aware of the class war that is ultimately the problem, the source of every problem in this country, or we can have another violent civil war. And it's up to you, okay? It's up to you, me, and the people you talk to. So there will be a revolution. Now, whether or not that revolution is violent or not is, again, dependent on you. It could be a peaceful economic revolution if we are wise about this. But if we continue to allow the mainstream media to control our perceptions and to divide us, then what's going to happen is we are going to start killing each other. And we obviously, this isn't the strategy we want to go down. We have to increase class consciousness, okay? We need to stop getting distracted by these racial divides and these social divides. We need to understand that the resource allocation is ultimately the source of the problem. And if we don't, well, this isn't going to be a place you want to live in much longer. So give that a little thought. Thanks for watching.